Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? So I'm pretty excited for this video because I'm going to be doing my review for my Shop My Stash in January. I'm basically just going to be going through applying each item and talking about how I feel about it, if I liked it, disliked it, the pros, the cons, everything like that. So let's just go ahead and jump on in. So I'm going to go ahead and do my base first just because that's something I've been liking recently, and I'm going to start off with the HA Blur Primer from The Ordinary. I'm just going to apply a minimal amount of this. Towards the beginning of the month, I thought that this might have been breaking me out. I wasn't sure, but those specific breakouts went away, and I mean, I'm still breaking out. My face is still not the best, but I don't know if it's the primer or not. I don't think it is. So overall, this is really soft and smoothing and would probably be really good if you have a pore problem. I don't dislike it, but I don't love it either, just because I feel like I need something more hydrating, especially in winter. So I'm going to keep it, but I think that in the future I would use this specifically for pore areas, and then I would use a hydrating primer with it. I would use it as a team, not by itself. Now going with the Tarte foundation, the Rainforest of the Sea in the shade Porcelain. I thought I would finish this month, and I have used a lot of it, but it just keeps going and going. It's like the Energizer Bunny. So I unfortunately did not finish it, but that's okay. I do like it. I prefer it applied with a foundation brush 100%. I do really like this foundation, and it gives me, you know, a little bit of coverage. It doesn't look cakey or anything. I don't think I would repurchase it when I run out. I think I would rather go for something more glowy. Like, I would rather use like the It Cosmetics CC cream. I feel like it gives me a similar amount of coverage, but I like the look of that more. So it's funny going through this because there are some items where it's like I want to keep using them because I want to finish them, and I feel like I got to know them really well, but at the same time I'm so excited to exchange them out and use something else because I've been pretty dedicated to using these all month. Well, this month was different because I filmed the video a little bit later, but next month I'll have more time to use everything. But I was filming something special the last few weeks, so I was doing my makeup a lot. So sometimes I did my makeup twice a day. So I feel like, use everything a lot. Now moving on to the BH Cosmetics concealer in the shade 100. I'm actually like, if you see, like, I have to squeeze it all the way up to here to get anything to come out. So I feel like, I don't know, if I use this for one more month I would finish it, but I also want to use something else. It's not as much coverage as I would like. Probably another thing, if I finished, I don't think I would repurchase it. It's okay, but I'm not like in love. I'm just gonna apply that anywhere I need covered. Alright, so the next item in my Shop My Stash was the Wet n Wild contour palette in the discontinued shade, and I didn't like this by itself, like the yellow shade, I mean. I tried to set everything with that, and I wasn't a huge fan, but I found out that if I go in with, I have a Laura Mercier under eye setting powder. This is not cruelty free. You can see how close I am to finishing this powder, but I just go ahead and set with that first, and then I use a little bit of the yellow to brighten. Going in with the translucent under my eyes to set, and then I'll just pick up some of the yellow and basically do triangles underneath my eyes with that color, and then set any other place I would highlight. This definitely gives a more matte appearance, but that's okay. I prefer matte more whenever my skin is breaking out. I'm just going to go in with this side, pick up a lot of product, and bronze. And then last but not least, I just go in with the yellow just a little bit more and shape this. I feel like this adds, you know, it balances out, but it's not as harsh as baking and like leaving a really solid line. It just cleans it up a little bit. So overall, I do like the contour powder. I'd be happy to keep using it, but January Shop My Stash is done. I feel so weird. I don't know, I feel like already this is helping me do better at not buying any makeup because it's like I like the things that I have. All right, now I'm just going to go into the Natasha Denona Diamond and Blush palette, and I am going to use, I think, this shade right here, this Pinky Gold Duochrome. I have been using this for blush every single day, and I'm definitely bored at this point. I feel like I like this, but I don't know. The cream products, I feel like I never find myself using just because it's a lot of work, especially because I've been using a lot of different powders and stuff. I just don't want to go in with cream on top and then I forget to use the powder first. And the highlighters, I like the way that they look on the skin, but it's just not my favorite right now. I don't know. Maybe I'll like this more in summer. It feels more like a summery blush palette than winter, but I'm definitely ready to move on to other blushes. And I haven't, like, I used the highlighters a few times, but overall I wasn't excited to use this palette, which is stupid because of how much it costs, so. But the blush is nice. It's super pigmented, so I feel like I've been having very strong blush every single day. Alright, next I have the Profusion Brow Palette, which I've been using quite a lot. You can see some really good dippage in there. I would say I like this, but I don't like the formula as much as the Anastasia Brow Powder, just because it doesn't stick to sparse areas of my brow as well. It gives more of a natural look. So what I've been doing to give me the more fierce brows that I want is I've been using the ColourPop brow pencil in the shade Redhead. I don't think that they even sell this version anymore. They have a different one now. And basically just filling in my brows with this, and then I go over it with the powder, and then I go over it with the clear brow gel from Anastasia, which I've really been liking. The trick is I use the least amount of brow gel as possible to make it less crispy. Like, I don't like when I touch my brows and they feel like really funny, like just hard to the touch. I don't like that, so I use the least amount possible with this. So I take a while to do my brows, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do them on camera, but I'm gonna speed them up. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and go into the Sigma eyeshadow primer and prime my eyes. I've decided I don't love this primer, basically for the same reason I don't love the MAC one. I just feel like it's a little bit too drying, a little bit too thick, and the color is not right. If the color was more, if they had a lighter color version, I could see liking this. So the thing is, I can't deny that it's a really good eyeshadow primer though. Like, it works. Like, I use this with other eyeshadow palettes this month, other than the one I'm going to talk about in a minute, and it works really well. I even used it like doing a comparison, and I feel like shadows just stick to it amazingly. So I like it, but I don't love it. So I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep using it, especially in the future if I have an eyeshadow palette that I feel like doesn't work with other eyeshadow primers. This one is really good. It's just that I feel like my eyes end up looking a little bit dry. Another thing I don't love about this is because of the color, I can't cut out my eyebrow. Not that I do it like super sharp, but I just like to kind of clean it up right there. And I can't do that with this. So, and I'm going to take this light highlighting shade right here, and I'm just going to highlight underneath my brow bone. Just clean it up a little bit. Alright, so now jumping into the Morphe & James Charles palette, I feel like I have a lot to say, so really quickly I'm just going to tell you what colors I'm going to use today. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with this yellow right here, and then I'm going to use this blue, and then this green, and then this green, and then put this light blue all over my lid, and then this in the inner corner. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll talk about the palette as I go. So I was very curious about this palette just because I feel like it was very, very hyped up. I think every time it goes back in stock, it sells out. And okay, yeah, the eyeshadow base, the shade of it is definitely changing this color on me. It looks so much more orange when I've used it before, and it looked true yellow. Anyways, so I was excited to try this out, and I have to say that overall, the number one thing I want to say about the palette is that it's not unique. It really isn't. The colors and everything, like, there's nothing in the palette where I'm like, yeah, I can't do this with any other palette. I feel like it's very repetitive, and if you have a large collection or even a medium collection, you probably already have every single shade that's in this palette. That being said, I do really like the matte shades. I think the mattes are amazing. I was really nervous about it because they do have some pressed pigments in here, and every time an eyeshadow is labeled a pressed pigment, I end up having problems with it. But I really like the formula of the mattes. I find them to be buildable. I normally go in with like 2 or 3 layers, and that's really good for me. Man, it is so changing the color of this eyeshadow. It's driving me crazy. I wanted a true yellow. I have no problem blending them. I think that they get really opaque. I could see returning to this palette, using it more, and continuing to reach for the mattes, especially the really bright pink in here, Skip, that is just absolutely beautiful, and I did not have any staining problems, like none, which is interesting because I have more sensitive eyes. I have very fair skin, so a lot of times shadows do stain me, but I was not stained at all with this palette. However, I will say that I am not in love with the shimmer formula. My problem with the shimmers is that they have no intensity to them. They are so boring, and I don't mean in color, I mean the formula. Like, the formula is just so mediocre. I feel like they take so much to build, but even if you spray your brush, your lid, it just ends up looking like you're 100 years old, and it's just not a good look. I just don't think I would ever see myself reaching for any of the shimmers in this palette again, honestly, except for the bright purple maybe. Oh, dang it, I'm thinking about the shimmers and I just put a shimmer all over my brush. Let me wipe that off. The mattes are so pigmented and they make the brightest looks, and you can do so many intense things with the mattes, and then it doesn't make sense for the shimmers to just be so, ugh, like, I don't even understand. I just really, really am not a fan. Alright, now I'm going in with the greens to do like a super green lower lash line. Honestly, I don't know if I would recommend the palette or not, because like I said, I love the mattes so much, and I feel like they're so good. But it's like it's only half the palette then, you know? I guess it just depends on you and your preferences. If you already have really good shades, because I don't know, I feel like they blend really well for me. They build up really well, especially the neon shades. Going in with the darker green. Honestly, I know, like, I don't even know what is going on with this color combo right now. All I know is I was just trying to do a look quickly. I didn't feel like, I don't know, I just felt like doing something easy, but also colorful at the same time, so this is what happened. Just adding some of that light blue. See, I guess it looks okay now. I mean, it looks okay. It's not the worst shimmer ever to exist in the entire world, but I don't know, I expected more, especially because the main reason is that I love the shimmers in the Jaclyn Hill palette so much. They are so good and creamy and pigmented, and they basically look foiled on your eyes. So I guess maybe that's why I was expecting more. I will say though, and give props, that I do like the whole idea of the palette is that you're supposed to be able to do everything with it, and I genuinely feel like you can. As long as you don't want an intense shimmer, it does have basically everything you need. I also forgot to mention that the shimmers do have pretty bad fallout as well. I didn't have any fallout with the mattes at all, but nearly every shimmer gave me fallout. right here real quick. Like it's there, but it's just nothing special. For example, like I guess I'll do the gold and this pinky rose one right here. So there's James Charles and James Charles. Okay, and then we'll go into the Jaclyn Hill palette, and let me see, is there a gold in here? I guess I'll do this goldy bronze shade, just barely touching it, and then like this coppery pink shade. Wonder if you can see that on camera. Like, I know that the colors are not the exact same, but I don't know if you can tell that the Jaclyn Hill shimmers are just thicker and they're like shinier, more metallic. So that's why I would probably say I'm more disappointed with the James Charles palette. Right, so I'm going to go ahead and finish off my eyes, do some mascara, liner or something, and I'll be right back. Alright, so for highlighter I had the Ofra Glazed Donut, and I'm very excited to announce that I hit pan. I love this highlighter. It is so good if you have super fair skin. It's definitely best for me in the winter time. Honestly, even it's truly so light and cool toned. I wouldn't recommend this for someone who is not super fair and who does not like a cool toned highlight, because it's very cool toned to the point where like I really have to blend it into my blush and everything, because sometimes it can look a little bit gray, but it is the most blinding highlight. So it's funny because I'm pretty sure in my intro for Shop My Stash January, I talked about my goal for 2019 is to hit pan on my Ofra highlighters, because they really are my favorite and I knew it was inevitable. I just didn't think it would happen so soon. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply that to all the spots on my face that I like to highlight. Add a lot because I like a lot of highlight. I'm just going to go ahead and spray my face with the Milani Make It Last setting spray. I forgot how much I love this. I just love the spray on this so much. I like that it's fine, but it's also like an intense spray. Like you can really feel it and it feels like it's doing something, because I feel like other sprays, if they're too fine of a mist, I feel like I use too much product because it feels like I'm not even doing anything, like the Morphe setting spray that feels like it's in a hairspray can. So I really like this. It's definitely one of my favorites. Alright, so last but not least, just going to go into the ColourPop Oh Snap Lippy Pencil, which I've been using a ton. It is slowly but surely getting a little bit shorter. And then I don't really have a review for this. It's just a lip liner. It works fine. The Canon Gloss from Dose of Colors, which I really like. It's perfect for making any other lipstick look like a really light nude. I love the color of this. Though I will say that definitely does separate on me over time, and it gives like that little white line, which I don't love. And then I have the What's Your Sign lipstick from ColourPop, which is one of my favorites. I love the Luxe lipstick formula. Alright, so this is my finished look for my Shop My Stash January review. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Bye!